Hello ladies and gentlemen, so today we're going to look at factoring using the AC method. This is the most popular of all the methods we're going to learn. What you're going to want to have on you, your notes, calculator, and a pen or a pencil. So the steps to the AC method. Very first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to identify A, B, and C in the polynomial. Then you're going to multiply A by C, so this is why it's called the AC method. Then you're going to find the factors of AC. So what numbers multiply to give you A times C? Then you're going to think in your head, what two numbers, when you add them together, will give you B? You're going to replace the middle term with the two terms that we found, and then you're going to factor by grouping, which is what we just learned. So I think the AC method is the easiest when you actually start performing it. It's a lot harder just looking at the directions. So let's take a look at an actual AC problem. So very first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to identify A, B, and C. So just like you would assume, A, B, C. So A is 1, B is 8, and C is 12. So what we're going to want to do is find A times C. So A times C, 1 times 12. So that is 12. Now, let's write the various numbers that, when multiplied, give you 12. Very first thing, 1 and 12, right? 2 and 6, 3 and 4, right? Those all give you 12. So now, let's add these together. 1 plus 12, that's 13. 2 plus 6, that's 8. And 3 plus 4, that's 7. So remember, our question was, what two numbers, when you add them together, will give you B? B is 8. So which one of our group of numbers gave us 8? 2 and 6, right? So what I'm going to do is, instead of having 8x in the middle here, I'm going to use 2x plus 6x. So let me show you how I'm going to rewrite this. Like that. So 2x plus 6x is technically 8x, right? If you add those two together. So now, what I can do is I can box this. I can do factor by grouping. So I'm going to put this in my box. So I'm going to have 1x squared, 2x, 6x, and 12. 1x squared and 2x, I can't take a number out, right? But I can have an x and an x sitting out there. X times 2 will give me 2x. 2 times 6 will give me 12. And then 6 times x, well, that's 6x. So now I can rewrite this as x plus 2 times x plus 6. Not too bad, right? I think the hardest part is finding this term. Once you get to this, it's pretty easy. Let's try this one. So, very first thing, A, B, and C. A is 1, because there's no number here. If there is not a number here, you're always going to have a 1 there. B is 11, C is 24. So A times C is 24. So now, let's list the factors of 24. Very first one, 1 and 24. Never forget that. I find a lot of students forget those ones. 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. So let's add these guys together. $25, 14, 11, and 10, right? I needed 11. Did one of those generate 11 for us? They did indeed, right there. So I can rewrite the inside as 3x and 8x. So I'm going to have 1r squared plus 3r plus 8r plus 24. Box that. Factor by grouping. 1r squared, 3r, 8r, and 24. It looks like we're going to have an r going this way, right? Another r going this way, a 3 going this way, and an 8 going that way. 8 times 3, 24. 8 times r, 8r. 3 times r, 3r. So I can write this as r plus 3 times r plus 8. That's basically the AC method. Now, it can get slightly harder. Notice how this one, I have my A times C of a positive 24. So let's list all of the factors of a positive 24. So I could have 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6, right? So 25, 14, 11, and 10. Notice how I need negative 11. So what I think I'm going to need to do, I have a positive 11. But let's think here a little bit. Can I make 24 with 3 and 8 using negatives? What about negative 3 and negative 8? Negative 3 plus a negative 8, that is negative 11. So you can always use positives and negatives. So with a positive AC, you can have both positives or both negative numbers, depending on how it works out. In this case, we have both negative. So we can write this as x squared minus 3x minus 8x plus 24. So now, let's draw my box. Like that. So I got an 8x and an x, negative 3, and a negative 8. So let's try one more example like that. So my AC is 1 times 8, so it's 8. So off to the side, in our mind, let's think. Numbers that multiply to give you 8. 1 and 8, that would give us 9. 4 and 2, that would give us 6. But I need negative 6. So what if we would go a negative 4 and a negative 2? That will give us negative 6, right? So 1y squared minus 4y minus 2y plus 8. Let's box this baby. 1y squared minus 4y minus 2y, positive 8. We've got a y and a y going that way. Negative 4 times y is negative 4y. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y. Negative 4 times negative 2 is a positive 8. There we go. What's nice about this, you could also refoil this out. You would get your original answer. So you can always foil or box it back up, see if you got the right answer to begin with, that you started with. Let's try this last one. So we need an AC of 1 times negative 15, so that would be negative 15, right? What two numbers multiplied will give you negative 15? Well, one of them's got to be positive and one of them's got to be negative, right? Kind of makes sense because we need a negative. So let's write this. I got 1 and 15, 3 and 5, right? Those are the only two that we can think of. No way can I make 2 out of 1 and 15. But I think I can make 2 out of 3 and 5. I need a positive 2. So what about if I make a negative 5? That would give me 3 minus 5. That would give us negative 2. That's not what we want, right? We want a positive. So what if I would make the 3 negative? Negative 3 plus 5, that is a positive 2. So what I can do then is I'll write my middle term like that. Negative 3x plus a 5x. Let's put a box here. There we go. So I got an x going this way, x going that way. Negative 3, positive 5. So we'd have x minus 3, x plus 5. And I'll show you little tips and tricks to know when you're going to have a positive and negative for your AC, or when you have a positive positive, or when you're going to have a negative negative. I'll share you a little tricks tomorrow on that. But this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you later, Sabers.